Hello and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
And for any new listeners, this is a podcast where we cover comic books, TV, video games, movie, and more. Basically, the format goes, we cover some news ranging those topics, and we finally finish up with the comics that we picked up that week.
And for those of you who haven't listened to us before, this is huge spoilers. We talk in depth about comic books, we talk in depth about movies, our thoughts and reactions. So if you haven't seen something we're about to talk about yet, turn it off, go see it first, and then come back. Unless you like spoilers. I like spoilers, personally.
Yes, you do. It doesn't matter to you.
Just let me be who I want to be, Danny.
So the first bit of news here, starting with video games.
Starting April 22nd, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D Land, Super Mario Bros. 2, Animal Crossing New Leaf, and Donkey Kong Country Returns will be getting a price cut down to $29.99.
That is the price of a brand new DS game. These are all 3DS titles, and Nintendo, for them to cut these titles. Mario Kart 7, I've never really heard of them cutting down any Mario titles this soon after release. For something like Mario Kart 7, it's only been out maybe 2 or 3 years. On the Wii, they still had Mario Galaxy up at $50 even
Good
at
for
this
them.
time. So I'm thinking they could have gotten away with charging still the $40 for Mario Kart 7, New Super Mario Bros., Mario 3D Land, pretty much anything except Animal Crossing and Donkey Kong Country Returns. They could have gotten away with the full price. But they didn't. They cut it down. You can save $10. Big titles. Mario Kart 7 is a lot of fun, but you do have the Wii U version right around the corner, so I would say just hold off if you own both systems. Super Mario 3D Land is excellent. That is a really, really good title. If you like the Mario Galaxy game, this one's perfect. Of course, the 2D stuff, if you rather have the classic Mario on your hands, if you grew up with Nintendo like I did, you would prefer the Super Mario Bros. 2. Again, another version on the Wii U, but I actually feel like the 3DS version was superior. Animal Crossing, you've played Animal Crossing, haven't you?
Mm-mm.
Never played it?
Nope, I'm a Harvest Moon. I don't like their little triangle noses. Bothers me.
And Donkey Kong Country Returns, finally, it's really difficult. I couldn't beat it on the Wii.
Oh, yeah, you had a really hard time with it.
Yeah.
I think this is smart, though. It's going to move games. It might move some more systems also.
Yeah, price cut's always good. Again, I feel like they could have sold the games without it, but...
Yeah, probably. But really, how much did it cost them to make that game?
I don't know. At this point, they've more than made their money back.
Well, yeah. Some more Nintendo news. They will be releasing a Princess Peach Wii Remote on May 30th, the same date as Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, that one will be available for $39.99, which is the same price as a regular Wii U remote. If you remember, they released the Mario Wii U remote and the Luigi one as well. We actually did an unboxing for the Luigi one.
It's really cool. Seeing the Princess Peach one, too, it looks great. I love the different color buttons that go with her color scheme. You know, if you gotta get another Wii remote, you might as well get one of the special ones. Makes it a little more fun.
Yeah, exact same price. You can check out our unboxing on YouTube. If you search The Reasons I'm Broke, Luigi Wii Remote Unboxing, you can find it there. And don't forget to subscribe on there while you're watching the video. One thing that someone did bring to the attention, though, in the comments section for that video, is that the paint on it, after you're playing over several hours or whatever, they actually didn't put any kind of coating on the painting or on the logos or any of that. So that Luigi L, they were saying that it started to rub off over time. I don't know if they improved it with the Princess Peach one, but that is something to keep in mind. For mine, I kept the jacket on it, and when I do use it, I haven't seen anything rub off yet, but I'm also not like putting my hands on the L, and some people I guess are. But the way I play, I don't really grip my controllers and my hands don't sweat when I play either. So.
And you always wash your hands.
Yeah.
And then if your hands start to sweat, you go and wash them again.
Well, that's the thing. Like when I was growing up, I hated going over to like friend's house and just touching their controller and like it was just real greasy. All of a sudden, it's like, this is fucking disgusting. And the joysticks would always be sticky as well, or real grimy. I hated that shit.
You mean like my brother's controllers?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's kind of how they are. It's gross.
If it starts to feel like a demo unit when you go to like a Target or a GameStop, you should probably take care of your shit. Onto some comic book news. This one was great. We just saw it tonight because it just released this weekend today, which we're recording this on Saturday. The episode probably won't release till Sunday. But the Darwyn Cooke Batman Beyond short debuted this weekend at WonderCon.
Yes. Oh, so amazing.
Yeah, Darwyn Cooke, if anyone knows, is huge in the comic book business. Did the Catwoman run a while ago. He did the Before Watchmen stuff, which we really enjoyed. Did some great covers for Batman Adventures, which we actually got signed at a previous MegaCon by Darwyn Cooke. He's a nice guy. I love his art. Also, I think Justice League New Frontier was the animated movie based on his book.
Okay.
And they kept the character designs the same and everything.
Awesome.
But for Batman Beyond, it looks almost exactly like the show. Mm-hmm. Just like a higher res, sharper show. They hardly changed the thing, and I love that.
Yeah, it was great. I was so excited. Let's talk about my favorite part, though.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, pause the podcast, head on over to YouTube, and search Darwyn Cooke Batman Beyond short.
Now I can spoil. Batman's voice.
Kevin Conroy.
Yes! Speaking so much more than he did in the Bruce Timm short that we saw. Great, still well written, so much fun. Saving the day, old man Bruce. Mm-hmm. Can't stop him.
Hardak returns. If you remember Batman the Animated Series, this was essentially their Terminator for the Batman show. This was a computer that was creating a bunch of robots, a bunch of replicates for all the citizens of Gotham. And they were slowly, I don't remember the episode exactly, but were they just keeping them and freezing the people? Or
yeah, I think it did. And then it captured them and then made kind of a robot clone of them and sent it back out. It was called Heart of Steel.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
So that's what this one is, and they don't exactly say that it's Hardak, but it's Hardak. It has the exact same skeleton designs from the animated series when Batman's face, the skin, gets ripped off by Terry's gauntlets, and also the eyes glow red, just like the robots would do. And in Batman Beyond, I don't remember ever seeing Hardak make a return, so this is like Hardak Beyond, and it kind of fits because Hardak would never go away.
Right. Exactly. I love that they got to throw in all the Batmans in there for us, though.
Yeah, at the very end of the video, and you've seen this already, it shows about 7 Batman copies, but they're actually from different media. So you have your Michael Keaton Batman, you've got your Batman Brave and the Bold.
Adam West is in there.
Adam West, Beware the Batman.
Mm-hmm. The Batman.
The Batman is in there too, and also the first appearance of Batman with the purple gloves.
Dark Knight Returns.
And Dark Knight Returns is in there too.
Yep.
Exactly. It's so great at the very end when Batfake says 7 against 2. I don't like these odds, or he says like
those
the odds
aren't very good odds.
Right.
And Batman, being Batman, goes, not for them. Yes.
And if you notice, Batman actually beat the Hardak robot, not Batman Beyond. Some people were commenting like, I don't feel like Terry could ever really take on Batman. Well, of course he can. We all know that. Even with the Batman Beyond suit, he would never be able to take on Batman at his prime. But even in this short, Batman says Batmobile and turns on the fucking fire and destroys Hardak. I'm like, okay, so in the end, Batman won.
Of course.
With the slight help of Terry.
Terry assisted.
And I like to imagine that just Batman kicked the other Batman's asses as well.
Of course.
Like the true Batman fought the clones. I felt that was saying a lot too from the animation. 75 years of Batman. Here's the real Batman. We finally found true Batman. And it's Kevin Conroy.
Exactly. It was so good to hear his voice. I was so excited. But no, it was definitely a great short. You guys, check it out. I'm hoping you already saw it. If you haven't, watch it. If you already saw it, watch it again.
Definitely watch it. Indomitable Geek from Twitter said, what did I think? It's fucking dope. Perfectly summarized.
Exactly. No greater words have ever been spoken about this short.
So between Darwyn Cooke's Batman short and Bruce Timm's Strange Days short, which both debuted within the last month, which one did you personally like more?
I like Darwyn Cooke's better. Because Bruce Timm's was great. It, had Conroy. It had Bruce Timm's art. But this one feels like it was a continuation of, more so a continuation of the animated series. For me, this was, season 5, here it is. Or Batman Beyond season 3. I don't remember what season they ended on. That's what this one felt like to me, more so than the other one.
For me, I'm gonna go the opposite. I really liked Batman Strange Days. That one to me felt more like the animated series than the Batman Beyond one. Because the character designs more resembled, like Hugo Strange was just taken straight out of season 2 or 3. I forgot where he made his debut. And also the style of it with Bruce Timm, and then you have the girl that he has to save, and you have the monsters. And I felt like the animation was better. It was a little bit more entertaining because the pacing was really good. Instead of just being like one action scene, there was actually like some build up to the story, which I really liked. So for me, it's going to be Strange Days, but they were both amazing.
They were.
If they were to make shows out of both of these, even better. Like before I said, you can make a show out of Strange Days. I take that back. Sorry, DC. You can make shows out of both of these.
I would see them making a show out of Strange Days before the Batman Beyond one.
Continuing Batman Beyond. The thing is, Batman Beyond is really, really popular, though. Like, even now that people are reaching that age now, they grew up watching Batman Beyond, and now they're becoming like I am with Batman the Animated Series. Now they're becoming very vocal about the Batman Beyond. They're buying the comic book that's currently out, the merchandise. There's tons of Batman Beyond shit out there. All the time I see, every time we go to a convention, there's tons of Batman Beyond logo shirts or hats, and it's not going anywhere.
We need to buy a bunch of DVDs from the animated series and be like, try this, it's better. Just start handing it to them.
That's the thing. I never actually saw all of Batman Beyond. I saw a good amount of it. I saw a lot of episodes, especially the ones where it featured like Mr. Freeze, for example. But the show never really did it to me like Justice League or Justice League Unlimited, Batman the Animated Series. It was a little too, I don't know, a little too different.
But then I had those episodes like Epilogue. Oh wait, was that Justice League?
That was Justice League Unlimited.
But it had to do with Beyond. You win this round.
Yeah. But it was still an entertaining show. Those episodes that I did see, like Ra's al Ghul, that was a great one.
No.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was like the worst ever.
It was the best one ever because he separated Talia from the rest of the women that he had in his life.
It was the worst one ever because Ra's raped Batman.
Didn't rape Batman. Batman knew what he was doing.
Raped him.
Well, now Ra's could have... He died
Batman
happy.
was just like, I'm young again. I can, get it up. Yeah, this lady's here. But...
Talia, my beloved.
No, he never said that. I've never heard those words from Batman.
I'm sure he said it when they were like cuddling.
Cuddling. You think Batman cuddles, Dan?
Well,
Batman cuddles.
I regret never having cuddled you. Now that I'm young, I can do it.
He would never say that ever in his life.
It was still a good episode, though. So great short. Again, Darwyn Cooke's Batman Beyond. See it now. If you've made it this far and you haven't seen it, shame on you. Go watch it. On to some comic book news.
DC has also announced a third weekly comic. Thanks, DC. It will be releasing in October called Earth 2 World's End. The buzz on this has actually been positive, ranging from Earth 2 needed this with their larger cast of characters to, wow, Daniel H. Wilson, that's pretty big.
That surprised the hell out of me because people are very, very rarely positive about one thing. The last time that happened, it was for Super Smash Brothers a couple of weeks ago. Unless you were talking about Samus's heels, then people had a fit. But I think they're over that now. But this, I was reading, I'm like, okay, so let's see. I'm scrolling through Newsarama, and they have that Facebook part of it that you can read their comments. And most of it was, I took it directly out of the comments section. These quotes, like, they're a large cast of characters. This is great. This is going to work. I love Earth 2. I'm glad they're doing this. And I'm like, whoa. Nobody gives a shit about the weekly part of it.
Very few people read Earth 2, obviously.
I hear it's really good. Like, I've got to check out the trade. But I hear Earth 2 is actually awesome. But I just haven't gotten around to it. But it is, once again, another weekly that we can't afford to buy.
Of course not. Reasons we're broke.
Is there any weekly that DC could make that you'd be like, you know what, I think I'd have to buy this? New 52, though. It can't be like the animated series.
I was going to say, you make it the animated series. If they did a Batman and Robin with Damian.
Weekly,
we would probably have to buy that.
What would you buy? A Harley Quinn weekly?
It would depend on a lot of factors.
What about a Gotham City Sirens weekly?
Yes, I'd probably buy Sirens.
That'd be cool.
If they did a Harley written by Dini weekly, yes, I would buy it. Harley, how she's going now, it's entertaining, but it's not entertaining enough to spend $12 a month.
That's true.
They did a little Sinestro hand. If they made a Razor and Aya weekly, Dan, write to DC, write them now. I would buy it.
You'd buy that, yes.
I would be all over that shit. I'd be like, this is my book. It was made for me. Here is my money, sir.
I have no heart in my... I have no hate in my heart for you, Aya.
No.
You cried so much when that came up.
I had to work 2 hours to read this book.
So anyone that's lost, we're talking about Green Lantern, the animated series.
Yes.
It went for one season, got canceled. Very strong fan base because it actually did get good ratings. It just didn't sell enough toys, which is the reason why it got canceled. But you can now watch the show in its entirety on Netflix. Right there for streaming. Search the Green Lantern, the animated series.
If you guys haven't seen it, please do. I laughed. I cried. It was wonderful. One season?
It was just one season. Apparently, they split the season up just like they're doing now with Beware the Batman, which was actually a bit of news. I forgot to include it in there, but...
Well, anyway, it was great. I cried. It brought to me two characters that are very dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel so sad thinking of them now. But Razor and Aya, if they had a daily, I'd probably buy a daily and read about them.
But Beware the Batman, what I wanted to mention is here this weekend at WonderCon, they actually debuted the next episode that they're going to release.
Oh.
So the show's still alive. I still think it's not going to go any further than this season. But it's good to know that we're actually going to get to finally seeing Ra's al Ghul resurrected in Beware the Batman, because that's right before he got resurrected that it stopped.
It was so sad.
Yeah, it was. Also, some Robin news. Dick Grayson will be getting his own solo book. Nightwing is cancelled, so after the events of Forever Evil, this book is titled Grayson. Batman convinces Dick to remain dead in the eyes of everyone, including Alfred and the Bat family. He's going to go undercover as a secret agent.
Well, that explains the last Batgirl.
Right, the last Batgirl, exactly.
Mm-hmm. But we all knew he wasn't dead. I think this is really cool. There's a lot that they could do with this.
Yeah.
I think in the right hands, maybe Starfire can show up.
See, my mind immediately went to the Batman Beyond version of Nightwing, or Dick Grayson, Robin. It so fits now, doesn't it?
Mind blown.
Like, he's got the eye patch, he's got, like, that secret agent clothes type of thing.
Clean up the floor now. My mind is
It
exploded.
just blew up.
No, that does make a lot of sense, though. That's really cool. He's got to get more jaded as time goes by, though.
And resent Batman for whatever, but he's still got to remain whiny, because otherwise it's not Robin.
Of course not.
First he was Robin, then he called himself Nightwing, but he's still Robin. Now he's calling himself Secret Agent Grayson, but he's still Robin.
Secret Agent Grayson.
Poor Dick Grayson, he'll never get out of that Robin title.
He'll be Robin forever.
Forever. Speaking of Robin.
Robin Rises Omega is an upcoming one-shot from Peter J. Tomasi and Andy Kubert.
The return of Robin, although not mentioned on whether or not it's Damian, will cause a rift between Batman and the Justice League.
Dun dun dun.
Go ahead.
There's always a rift between Batman and the Justice League.
That's true.
There's Batman, and then there's the Justice League. It's not the Justice... No, it's Batman and the Justice League. And sometimes he grapples across that rift to help him out, but then he grapples right back. He's like, I'm out.
So really, the Justice League is always without Batman.
Yes.
Batman just comes along and helps sometimes.
Yes.
So if someone would ever say, would the Justice League be anything without Batman? You would say, well, it's always the Justice League. And Batman just helps.
No, that's false. Would they be anything? They would be much lesser without Batman. Specifically because Superman would fall apart without Batman.
True. Superman loves Batman.
Yes. Diana would probably be sad without Batman. She has gotten it a couple times, and I'm sure it was phenomenal.
Good job, Batman.
Yeah, good job.
You're like, no, good job, Diana. Like, Batman screws a lot of people, but he chooses. You see all those women that he goes out with as a billionaire playboy, none of them. Sleeps with none of them.
Yeah, I'm sure. The Flash, I'm sure, looks up to Batman. Martian Manhunter respects Batman. You take Batman away and they all just crumble.
So he's what holds the Justice League together. He's the heart of the Justice League.
Even though he's still not a part of the Justice League.
How's that possible?
I will think of a good analogy for you.
So, let's talk about these covers. The Robin Rises Omega. It shows, I guess it would be Robin, because that's what the title of it is, but it's in a Batman suit. So someone in a Batman suit, I'm assuming Damian, a much older person, he's got the red eyes, and he's got the Batman logo, but in the center of the Batman logo is a coffin. It's the exact same coffin that Ra's is holding over Batman with the Lazarus Pit in that upcoming cover. So that's going to be, I guess, Damian Wayne, but corrupted or evil by Omega. Isn't that dark side?
We'll talk about this later, too.
Okay.
When we get down to the comics, I noticed something, and I'm wondering if you noticed it also.
Okay. Next, also the cover for Batman and the Justice League. It's called, the title's going back to Batman and Robin right after Batman and Ra's. So Batman's going to have his Robin back, but this cover shows Batman walking forward and the rest of the Justice League trying to hold him back. Like, Wonder Woman has her lasso around him. Lex Luthor is giving orders to the Justice League, like stop him, presumably. I think Cyborg or someone is trying to hold him back, and he's still walking forward. no Superman to be found. So I'm going to leave it to Kelli to bring us the Superman Loves Batman moment of this episode. So with that, we cue the Superman Loves Batman theme song.
The reason he's not holding him back. Let me ask our listeners. Have you ever been in love? Have you been so in love with someone that their needs are more important than yours? Now let me ask you. Would you hold them back? Even if all your friends and your boss and everyone was saying they need to be held back, you let them go. You trust them to do what needs to be done because they're more important than anybody else.
So what's Superman saying in this scene where they're all just trying to hold him back? Is he just with his arms crossed floating by, or what's he doing? And what's he thinking, more importantly?
That man will be the death of me. But he just lets them go. They're like an old married couple at this point.
In his mind, not in Batman's.
Not in real life or anything. Just in his mind, in his heart.
And with that, I think we can jump into comics. That will do it for the news this week. Basically, we get a lot of DC books for new listeners. We're going to start off with our indie section, move on to Marvel, and finally finish up with DC.
Mm-hmm. First up, we have Adventure Time number 27. This is written by Ryan North with art by Jim Rugg.
For Ice King fans, buy this book.
Amazing. I was so happy.
Finn and Jake are still ghosts, flying around thinking it's great that they don't have to sleep, eat, or anything as ghosts. They don't get tired. But they're realizing that they can only interact with objects. That's the only way they can communicate with someone else, the living. And Ice King falls in love with Bimo. And Bimo falls in love with Ice King.
So funny. That was my favorite part of the book. Because if you guys watch the show, Ice King's always trying to get princesses. Bimo's kind of tries to be a princess a whole lot of the time. Mm-hmm. So it was just perfect when, Ryan North put these two together and the writing was so funny. And Bimo just goes along with it. And Ice King just, why not? Because they're both playing pretend. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they're in love. Whatevs.
Ice King's definitely in love. And you see how sweet he is to, like, a princess. And none of them want to be his princess. Mm-hmm. I'll never understand that.
He's kind of creepy.
He's not that creepy.
He's kind of creepy.
He's just misunderstood and old.
He is, but he kidnaps them.
Well, Bimo and Ice King make the best couple so far, I think.
Yes, exactly. But the conflict comes when Finn and Jake are trying to play a trick on Ice King, and Ice King's like, "Oh, this is cool." Like, doesn't faze him at all. So they're like, "Well, let's go actually help people. If all our tricks backfire, then all our helping will be great." Well, they end up scaring the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
And really funny.
Yeah, I like the issue a lot. Not my pick of the week, but it was definitely good for those Ice King moments. Next is Superior Spider-Man number 31. This is the final issue, final Spider-Man comic book before it becomes the Amazing Spider-Man. It's written by Dan Slott and Christos Gage, who's actually also working on Batman Beyond universe right now, and art by Will Sliney and Giuseppe Camuncoli.
This was sad. I think the best part of this was the first part where we see what happens to Doc Ock's woman.
Yeah, Doc Ock, this is more of a goodbye to Doc Ock than anything. Like, most readers will see it as the return of Peter Parker, and this is amazing. Watch him deal with Green Goblin. He puts an end to this within hours. And now he has to clean up Doc Ock's mess, which you're going to follow him in Amazing Spider-Man if you want to see that. But for everyone else, it's kind of like Doc Ock left behind more than just damage. He left behind someone that really cared for him. Mm-hmm. And I almost want to pick up Amazing Spider-Man just to see how she's going to deal with her Peter Parker being gone. And I don't know, it just kind of sucked. The final panel shows, I don't know what comic it alludes to, but it's the Spider-Man No More cover. I don't know the exact number, where he's walking away from the Spidey suit, which is in the trash can. But instead it's Doc Ock, Superior Spider-Man, in the Superior Spider-Man outfit. And he's walking off, and Peter Parker says, "I was wrong. Someone did die on this day."
That was so sad. One thing I really appreciate about this, though, is looking back. I think back to that first issue when Doc Ock became Spider-Man, and the whole time they're fighting, and he's trying to swap in his mind, and da-da-da. I'm thinking, no, he can't get in there. This is horrible. What's going to happen? He just needs to die. It's only a couple seconds. You're almost there. And now we've gone this whole journey, and I'm at the end, and I didn't want him to die. Mm-hmm. I'm sad that he's gone. So, that's a testament to great writing, to make you feel for this villain that you should have hated, But
yeah, other than the Ultimate Spider-Man book that we're picking up, that's going to be it for the Spider-Man books that we're going to pick up, unless somehow they come out with another Superior Spider-Man
title. Doc Ock gets back in there or something.
Yeah. But I did also want to talk about one of the backups for the Silver Surfer.
Oh, it was so good.
At the very end of it, it was available for free initially about a month ago, but they finally put it out in print. It's on the very back of this issue of Superior Spider-Man, and it kind of solidifies that love story that you were talking about.
And I'm so excited! It is between Silver Surfer and, I don't remember her name, Ladybug Dress Lady. Mm-hmm. That's her name. For right now. But they go to another planet. I guess they're on a date, and he wants to show her this amazing cosmic rays, is what they call. And it's actually stingrays in the sky, which was so cool. Mm-hmm. And, of course, silly things happen, and they stop villains and, action. But then there's this very touching moment at the end where she asks him what he's never seen before. And she expresses that that's what she wants to see, because she wants to experience new things with him rather than him having to relive stuff he's already seen just for her.
No matter how beautiful it is.
Right.
I found her name. It's Dawn.
Dawn.
So it's Dawn and Silver Surfer, played by Doug Jones.
Yes, Dougie Jones. Well, no, because then he's her gay friend. No, it has to be regular Silver Surfer. But no, I thought that was very sweet. That was really good writing for me, too, because that's someone who understands a woman and a meaningful relationship.
Same author, Dan Slott.
Good job, Dan Slott.
Go ahead and read the issue yourself, though. First broquette that goes to marvel.com/redeem and enters the following code will get a digital copy of Superior Spider-Man number 31, the final issue in the series.
Your code is FMDJVIRD8M6Q.
Enjoy. Go ahead and go on Twitter. Let us know what you thought of the issue at Reasons I'm Broke.
And if you don't cry, then don't let us know.
Be sure to read that Silver Surfer backup, too.
Yes. And now we're going to move into our DC Comics. We have Batman number 30, 0 Year. This is written by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo and Danny Mickey.
Another strong comic in the series.
Yep, agreed.
There's no way this comic's ever going to go down, but also I want to give credit to I don't know how to pronounce the colorist's name, but it's FCO. Mm-hmm. This issue in particular just knocked it out of the park. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable. I can't imagine any other colorist doing this book. If you guys remember, it's the same guy that's been with the series throughout Death of the Family, Court of Owls, and here in 0 Year, it's just even better. Like, there's some warmer colors, some cooler colors. It fits perfectly with the mood when Alfred's talking to Batman. At this point, it kind of flashes forward when Batman had that big blimp thing, and now he's recovered after the explosion. We thought he saved Gotham, and he sort of did, but now there's kind of the aftermath of it. Riddler has taken control of Gotham City. He gives the citizens a chance to give him a riddle, or tell him a riddle that he cannot solve, and if he can't solve it, then Gotham is saved, and he'll leave, or whatever. Turn himself in, I don't know. And with this, that Batman at the very end will come up with that riddle that he won't be able to,
of course,
to solve. But there's this moment in this where Batman kind of questions whether or not he is being effective as Batman. Because look at the way Gotham got. Mm-hmm. And as Batman, he wasn't able to stop it. He was only able to solve certain things and slow this down a little bit. And what I like best about Alfred in this moment is that he didn't go... There wasn't that moment where he tells him, "You're Batman. This is why Gotham needs you," like we expected. He said, "That's fine, but come back to the Batcave and help in this way, because I know you can in this way." So even without telling him you can be Batman, he still picks him up, brushes him off, and says, "Go out there and save Gotham."
Agreed. It was really, really good. I loved Gordon in this. Can I just say what a badass he is?
Yeah.
Like, cursing all over the place, calling people idiots, still trying to save Gotham, even though most people would have just stopped and laid down and, let what was going to happen.
And how about that beard on Gordon?
Yeah. Good for him. growing a beard. Can I talk about something in this, though? Do you remember when he woke up in that house with that kid? Did you look at the glass closely?
I did not.
Flip back. This is what it looked like to me. And it doesn't mean that that's what it was. But there was a glass when he first wakes up.
The Robin?
Yep. Looks like a Robinar.
Holy shit. I never saw that.
Boom! Kelly's the comic book master here. Finding all the secrets.
So is that going to be the new Robin?
I don't know, but is that not a Robinar?
That is a Robinar.
That's a Robinar.
Yeah, so he wakes up at this kid's room, who I guess has been taking care of him, and he's trying to figure out, he wants to save Gotham by making the ultimate riddle that he won't be able to save. And this is in the past, so if this is the new Robin would have to be significantly older, because this is what, how many years in the past?
Probably 10 at least.
So this guy would have to be about 18, 19, maybe 20 years old at this point. So
it would be an older Robin.
Exactly. They didn't say it was anyone like Lucius Fox or anything, so you're right. It might be the first appearance of the new Robin. Or it wouldn't be the first appearance, because the first issue of Zero Year, if you remember, he was fishing, and Batman came up with his motorcycle and helped him from those guys.
It is that kid. Dan. We shouldn't have spoiled this. Now people are going to be buying it. But no, the first thing I saw when I flipped, I said, that's fucking Robinar. What's that doing on the glass just randomly? Like, I even read through half the book and flipped back because I wasn't sure. But yeah,
I'm going to take a picture and submit it to Capullo right after this, just to see if he spoiled. I should submit it to Kevin Conroy. He'll probably say,
yes, I'm voicing that. But that would be really interesting. I think let's just talk about it for a second. I think an older Robin isn't bad. I think fans might like it a little bit more because now it's not, oh, Batman's getting all these kids. It would be the first one that's not a kid.
It'd also be the first Black Robin.
Yep, which, I don't think it's a bad thing. So, definitely, hopefully, that'd be really cool if we picked it out before everybody. You heard it here first. That kid's the new Robin. Or they could just be teasing, like, we're just throwing you lines all over the place. Motorcycle chick. Guessing. Maybe that is a motorcycle chick. He just had an operation.
Yeah, because there's a bunch of candidates now that people are guessing. Personally, I still want Damian to come back. That father-son relationship is amazing, and I don't want that to go away. But, either way, I'm going to be buying the book.
Of course.
Because if it's Peter J. Tomasi and Pat Gleason on it, it's a killer team. It's going to
be great.
Yeah. Which is actually the next book we're moving on to. It's Batman and Wonder Woman number 30.
Dan's pick of the week.
It is my pick of the week.
How'd
you know? Have we gone? I guess we haven't gone through your pick of the week yet.
I don't know. No, Batman and Wonder Woman number 30. Written by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Pat Gleason and Mick Gray.
You're right, it is my pick of the week in this one.
Because I know you so well.
Yeah, in this one, Batman with Wonder Woman goes into the island of the Amazons. That's where Ra's al Ghul has gone next to find a Lazarus Pit. We find out in this book that the Lazarus Pit will completely wipe the memory of whoever you place it in, whatever body you put in there. And the reason Ra's wants this is because he wants to remold Damian into being the assassin or son or grandson or whatever he wanted him to be. Which, to me, from a writing standpoint, I feel like Ra's al Ghul values Batman and respects him so much that he wouldn't want him to forget all of the things that Batman taught him. I only saw Talia as the one having a problem with the way Robin was being, Damian was being, and that's why she put the bounty on his head. I never saw Ra's as having like any kind of issue with it.
I don't know. I guess I can see why Ra's would want to do that because he can't have Batman to shape his world, so he wants Damian to shape his world. But the values that make Batman not want to do that are now in Damian. So if he doesn't do this, he's not going to get what he wants.
No, that makes a lot of sense because he doesn't want the one person to take over as the new Ra's al Ghul or whatever. That'd be kind of insane. I think you said that a while ago, that what if Damian became the new Ra's al Ghul and then Batman would have that Robin instead? That'd be kind of crazy. But for this one, he goes up against the Amazon ladies who don't want a man on there. Didn't you establish
they wanted the man a little bit too much. That was their problem.
They were way too offensive about, like on the...
Oh, we can't have you here. It's warm
I will
now.
fight him. And...
Let me just unbutton this. We fight naked in our society.
And that's when Raish comes up. That's funny because we always fight shirtless.
Tuxedo Masks his shirt away, just flips it like Tuxedo Mask's hat.
So they actually end up stopping Ra's al Ghul from bringing back Damien yet again. And Raish flies away. And
he escapes.
And I don't remember if he told him, like, this is where I'm going, because he actually wants Batman to be there, but...
I don't think so. He probably does want Batman to be there, though. My favorite part of this comic, and it's not my pick, but it was the last page. When they break open the Lazarus pit, this big goo monster comes out and starts, like, sucking up shit. And she keeps... It's a she? I think it's female. I don't know. The goo monster keeps saying, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. It turns out in the end that she's hungry for light. Mm-hmm. And they take her into the light, and what happens, Dan?
Just fades into the wind and at peace.
It was beautiful.
It was a really good issue. I think the one line that I had a problem with, and it was at the very end, when Batman says, now point me the way out of here, so I can chase down that bastard Raish. Yeah. I don't feel like he'd say that.
No, that was a little weird. I was like, that was uncalled for. Were you trying to be cool? Insert a curse word there.
But that was the only line. Like, other than that, it was an excellent book. Really loved it.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Harley Quinn number 5. This one's written by Amanda Connor and Jimmy Palmiotti, with art by Chad Hardin.
If you remember last month, she met this, I guess, a veteran that wants to try to stop these other Russian spies or whatever he wants, and he wants to kill them all, and he employs Harley Quinn as his assassin. So in this one, they're going around town, he's tracking down each one of them, and she's helping him kill these old people that you don't really know if they're actually assassins.
He cracks me up because he's like, now this one's going to be the hardest to kill. And then he's like laying hooked up, he's on life support or something. And he's like, he could wake up at any second and kill us all.
But Harley still kills that guy too. Like, it's dark humor, that's what this is, but it's really funny, and I really enjoyed this issue as well. Just
me as well.
On the off chance that, yeah, maybe they are just killing innocent people, and this old man's just senile. He's kind of a badass too, though. He's got a weapon strapped to his arm, like built into his arm like a machine. And he reveals in this one that as he got older, he just couldn't really function like he used to because these parts got way too heavy for him. And now he's on a wheelchair, but he still wants to get the job done, and Harley Quinn's helping him with it.
It was so funny. I did really enjoy it. We do get to see somebody who probably will be an assassin, though, that she's fighting.
At the very end,
some old lady, which will lead to some funny things in the next one, I'm sure.
And let me just say that I still really like that Palmiotti worked it in there, that Harleen Quinzel, the psychologist, is still in there, and blonde and just regular skin instead of that white Joker makeup or whatever. So I think that's a good part of the book. They just, she puts on makeup and she's fine. Oh my god, whatever, I'll buy it. Like, it works.
She puts on makeup and she's Harley. That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm. Next is Justice League number 29. It is a Forever Evil tie-in. It's written by Jeff Johns with art by Ivan Reis and Joe Prado.
We get to see more of the Metal Men.
Yeah, the Metal Men. Mm-hmm. They're brought back to life. If you remember in the last one, they, I guess, died saving the world from like a chemical monster. But their cores, which carries their computer minds or whatever, is still in there. So they just put them back in whatever metal that they belong to, and their bodies just shape out of that. But they still remember everything, so they're still the heroes that they died as in the last issue. Cyborg wants to gather these guys together to put an end to the Earth 3 or Earth 3 villains that have taken over the New 52 world.
Mm-hmm. Really great too. We get to see the showdown between Cyborg and the Grid. Mm-hmm. And, this has been a big conflict because Cyborg pretty much died when the Grid separated from him, and it was gross. And, now he's going up against him and really accepting who he's become now as a cyborg.
Right. He's not a man, he's not a machine, he is truly a hybrid, and he finally sees himself as that. So the Grid helped him grow. In the very end, his old body still served him before it got shut down or whatever. It made him realize that he can trust in his machine part of it without getting lost into it, while still knowing that he still has that human part of him, so that he can still care for the team and still care for the world around him and still has a place in the team and in his life.
I thought the Metalmen were written very well, though. I think I've said it before. The first time I was introduced to the Metalmen, I think was in the Batman Beyond book that we were reading. And they were bland, and I didn't like them. And I thought, who would ever create these? Why are they being used for anything? But again, written very well. I care a lot for most of the characters, for most of their team, and they're funny. And, I'd like to see some more of them.
Yeah, I can't wait. I hope they pop up in Justice League somewhat regularly, especially Platinum and that relationship with the doctor, the scientist. That's hilarious to me. Final book on our list. This one is Sinestro #1. It's written by Cullen Bunn with art by Dale Eaglesham.
Now we get to have the fill-in between the end of Green Lantern, the Wrath of the First Lantern, and that little Sinestro hand that we saw. That was like, his books have been burned.
The pages.
All those pages burned. No one knows what happened, but here's my hand. I mean, not Sinestro's hand pointing at the pages. So
this one, I guess, we're a little bit worried because it wasn't Jeff Johns writing Sinestro. But worries are gone. Like, this was a really good book.
Agreed.
What I like the best about this is he's no longer Parallax. So I'm like, okay, so I wonder what happened. But all they tell us is that he got rid of Parallax, no longer part of him.
Fuck you, Parallax.
For whatever reason. And that's fine with me because, to me, continuity isn't really all that important as long as they just set up a story right here. Like, this is the new story you're going to follow. Yeah, Parallax is gone. We're not really going to explain why. We just are going to show you that Sinestro, in this part of his life, he doesn't want Parallax, he doesn't want the Sinestro core ring, he doesn't want a Green Lantern ring. It's just himself and kind of testing his body and continuing to train. But then that's when, the plot turns, and that's when we're given motivation for Sinestro as a character, which we were also worried about. Like, what else would he do after he's no longer a Green Lantern? And
point at people like this and write in books and burn pages.
But no, he's given some great motivation. You feel for the character, you're rooting for him, and you really want to see him take control of his core again.
Yep, that guy's a dudum.
Who is
the guy who took over for him? He's like, we're gonna fight the Green Lanterns. I was like,
Arkillo, I think.
You're a dudum, Arkillo.
I love that part about it because he wants to fight, and Sinestro's like, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna start a war.
You out your mind
with the Green Lantern core. And I feel like his core. By the way, they were just making rings, like, left and right for just anyone for favors, and that's not what Sinestro would do. He wants to give
sexual favors.
No. Well, maybe. I'm sure that some of them would. These idiots running the Sinestro core now without Sinestro, and he's kind of back on there. And I feel like they kind of want him to take control of the core again. They want to see the old Sinestro, not necessarily let's go destroy these Green Lanterns, because in the end, he still even did that for a cause to get lethal action in the actual Green Lantern rings activated. But here, it's all for the greater good of the Green Lanterns. But they want to see him take control of that team again, and I feel like that's what this book was at the very end. Like, we're going to put your daughter in danger. What are you going to do? How are you going to take control of your core again?
Yeah. Yep, it's great. It has the potential to go very, very far and be amazing. It has the potential to get really bad.
So you think it's walking that fine line between the two?
If they don't play it right, yes. I would love to see some really deep emotions between him and his daughter, because we do get a touch of how he regrets where they've been in this book, and now he's presented with the perfect opportunity to talk to her, and you got to play it right, because she's going to be pissed and she's not going to want to talk to him, and he's going to have to want to mend that relationship, and I want to see a natural, realistic progression.
What do you think of Lisa Drack?
She's creepy ass mofo.
He can charge his ring using her. I thought that was really creative, and I always like when they figure out a new way. Kind of like in Green Lantern, the animated series, when he charged off of the Manhunters.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of cool. So here he charges off of her, and she's got some crazy motivation. I don't know what she's up to, but I don't trust her either.
I don't trust her.
She's too much into Sinestro and wanting him to strike terror into everyone.
Who's not into Sinestro?
Batman.
Well, okay.
Sinestro's into Batman.
Of course.
So it was a great start. I really liked it. Was this your pick of the week?
I don't know. What do you think my pick? I knew you well enough to know your pick of the week. Let's see how well you know me.
I think your pick of the week is Batman #30.
Good job, Danny.
Yes.
Yes, that was my pick of the week. I did really enjoy it. Love Sinestro. The only problem I have with this comic, and I didn't mention it before.
No, go ahead.
I'm just going to say it, okay? Because I just thought of this. In present time, because we're going back, why aren't people still talking about that crazy-ass flood that destroyed everything? And why are people still living there? That's my only problem.
Well, no, there were some issues in which Gordon and a couple of other people said ever since 0 year. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I do remember that.
So they have referred to 0 year before, which I like.
Why are people still living there?
It's Gotham.
I would have moved. I've been like, fuck this
it's
shit.
comic book logic.
Fuck this shit. Do. Gone.
Yeah, it's just comic book logic. Like, if Batman were patrolling your city, would you really leave?
Oh, no. I'd get in trouble all the time. Oh, Batman. Anyway, yes, that was my pick of the week. It's a great issue.
Great.
And his first appearance in New Robin.
Second appearance.
Oh, yeah. Second appearance in New Robin.
My pick of the week was Batman and Wonder Woman number 30. And did we have a pass of the week?
I did not have a pass this week.
Me neither.
Good.
So far we're picking up only good books, or rather the writers are only writing good issues to the books we're picking up.
Yep.
So far so good on the good streak.
We're so broke we can't afford to try and get bad ones.
Oh yeah, I guess Batgirl last week was pretty shitty. That was our pass of the week.
Yeah.
Never mind. So one week down, days without a pass, or weeks without a pass of the week. One.
Ruined.
No, there's one now. New beginning. So that'll do it for our podcast this week, our episode. You can go ahead and find us on Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. Let us know what made you broke this week. Also, if you got the Superior Spider-Man issue, and if you saw Darwyn Cooke's Batman Beyond short, share all that with us. We'll give you a shout out on the next episode.
You can also check us out on YouTube. Just search The Reasons I'm Broke. You can watch unboxings there. You can also listen to the podcast.
You can also like us on Facebook. Facebook.com/The Reasons I'm Broke.
We are also up on both iTunes and Stitcher. You can download the podcast straight through there. Please, if you listen to us on either medium, leave us a rate, a comment, a review. It will help other people find us.
All right, thank you for listening, Brokettes. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelli.
See you next week.